Hello. It's another rotten coffee time. Really, it is. And I'm trying to get my stuff together because I'm just trying to get it together because I'm really looked. I've not looked. What's in the news? We're on the Daily Mail website, so you don't have to go there. You don't have to visit. I'll do all the dirty work for you. Oh, President Zelensky is in the UK. Yeah, he is. And here he is. Here he is meeting Dishy Rishi. It's quite. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's so happy, but he's disappointed. Zelensky saying, "I wish it was Boris." And look, then they go in. No tongues. So yeah, Zelensky's in. I think he's going to be addressing Parliament this afternoon. That's cool. But we'll follow on for that. And I'm hoping that this is a real thing. I really am hoping this is. I'm just going to let you enjoy this headline. Is that real? Is that real? Russia is asking Pink Floyd's Roger Waters, well, ex-Pink Floyd, to be a speaker at the UN's Security Council, talking about war in the Ukraine. Yeah, Moscow's first defence permanent representative for UN announced on Wednesday. Yeah, Dmitry Polyansky wrote on his Telegram channel. Yeah. The British was asked to be a speaker at the UN Security Council meeting at the prospects for a peaceful resolution of the Ukrainian crisis. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the meeting will take place on Wednesday, February 8th. But it's unclear whether or not Waters will actually speak. The UN spokesman for the Secretary General was not immediately available to comment. Okay. Another new retailer's shutting down. New Look is closing. Yeah, closing stores across the UK. But will your store still be open? I don't know. Let's have a look. Closing Walthamstow, Grosvenor Centre in Northampton, and the one in Kirkcaldy. And last month, Birmingham, Bullring and Fort Shopping Park, and Trowbridge and Coventry shut last. So New Look, again, it's another retailer coming off the high street. Cereal bars and protein bars apparently can be really bad for you. High in protein and sugar. Look, you got to stay away from these. Look at them. Look. You think you're doing a good thing, but they're all high in sugar. Me and the missus were only talking about this earlier. Look at this one. Deliciously Ella. 10.6 grams of sugar. My goodness. So it's not good. You think you're being healthy, because you have the protein bars, but they're not. They're not good for you. But yeah, it's everything's got lots. Oh God, it's a really big. They've really gone. The Daily Mail have gone absolutely crazy over this. They've actually compiled a really big chart of calories. So they've put it in terms of the most calorific thing, and got the protein and sugar breakdown. And yeah, the Kind Protein Dark Chocolate Nut Bar, 274 calories. What's the best one? Let's go to the bottom here. Alpenlight Summer Fruits Bar. Alpenlight does fairly well. But you got to be careful. You got to be careful because with your sugars everywhere. Are we due for another beast from the east? Met Office warns of an event that can spark harsh wintry conditions. I mean, we had -3 this morning. Again, it's just too cold. I'm not enjoying the cold weather. Who remembers Chris Patton? Do you remember when he used to be the fat controller of Hong Kong? Well, now he's the Chancellor of Oxford University, and he's known as Lord Patton because he's a Tory peer. Here he is. But yeah, he was the governor of Hong Kong. I prefer fat controller. There he is. But he's come out. Oh, he's having a go at the wokey people. He says that university safe spaces are mad and oxymoronic. He's not wrong. But then we've bred a generation that feels incredibly unsafe wherever they are. Remember, words can hurt them. So I'm kind of in agreement with him. But he says, I'm an old-fashioned liberal, and I believe in free speech and tolerance are one of the most important values of an open society. Exactly. The only thing that you shouldn't tolerate is intolerance. Oh, that's some big brain thinking there, Mr. Patton. The youngsters won't get it. They will not understand. Because we must all think the same thought, for we are the drones. Don't go on holiday. This is the story of Jessica Yarnell and Adam Hagen from Montana, right? They were in Mykonos. This is the DK Oyster Bar by Platis Gallus Beach in Mykonos. Do we have a picture? Do we have a picture of the bar? No, we don't. Oh, yeah, here we do. It's this place here. And they were having a lovely time until they got the bill. And this is some of the items that they ordered: crab legs and Greek salad and a mojito. Yeah, and they ended up with an $860 bill for 2 mojitos, 4 crab legs and a salad. But the owner defends his prices. I mean, the cocktails alone were €25 each. But yeah, the owner says, you've got to look at the menu. And indeed, it does say on the menu, we've dropped the internet. We dropped the internet then. I don't know how much of that last story you got, but I was saying stay at home. Don't go to Mykonos. Don't go to the bar. They could have had those crab legs at home a lot cheaper. Did you get that, missus? Did you? It came out for a bit. I don't know why, because that's this computer. It does what it wants. But anyway, Nicola Sturgeon's back in the news. Old wee Jimmy Cranky. She's obsessed with gender ideology and self-ID. But Police Scotland are defying her. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, because police up in Scotland have been, they've been kind of pansying around dancing around the subject and calling men women when in fact they're men. But yeah, Andrew George Miller was charged over an 11-year-old schoolgirl's disappearance. But even though he's a transgender butcher, if he's a transgender butcher, does that mean he was a vegetarian? I'm confused. They said he was a man, rather than even though he identifies as a woman called Amy George. See, they do this so that they can hide their identity. And but yeah, the police are actually talking about his biological sex. Oh my God, that means that there can be no mistake and certainly no mix-up when it comes to crime statistics. That was peculiar. We watched it last night. The BBC. They're trying to... I don't know what they're trying to do, but there was a documentary about Shamima Begum. She was the 15-year-old who went to Syria to join ISIS, And yeah, the BBC have already released a 10-part podcast trying to, I guess, rehabilitate a character. And they did again a documentary last night. It was a 90-minute documentary about it. It was interesting. But you do wonder. I mean, a lot of the information I'd known before, and it was kind of interesting because the Canadians, the Canadian government kind of knew this was going on because they had an inside man, or at least somebody that was feeding information back to Canada about, the various Westerners going to Syria. And it seems like they could have been stopped. They could have been prevented from going, but, because the Canadians had intelligence, but they didn't. That was the interesting part. But there's been much debate on whether to have the infamous ISIS bride back in the UK. Here she is. Because she's been kind of held in a niche now. Now she's gone Western. But yeah, there's been a lot of debate whether or not we should have her back, or because she's, she was groomed as a child and everything, and she's, in political no man's land. I mean, yeah, if we can have her back, but I think we should probably, lock her up for forever for treason. Can we send people to the tower anymore? But no, again, the BBC seem to be obsessed with her. It's her time, I guess. But in terms of it kind of distilling all the information, it was good in that way. Again, there's more pictures coming out of the Turkey-Syria earthquake. They reckon now the death toll's hit 11,000. And again, this could... Again, every day it goes up, and every day there's more and more terrible pictures coming out of it, and it's really awful. And now they reckon that the death toll could hit 20,000. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Assad has been bombing earthquake hit rebel held areas. Yeah, there you go. That's something that's going on. Can you believe that? We've got some court news. I saw this one. This is the story of Andrea Weimer. Shall I have a look at her? What did she get up to? Well, she's... it's a curious case. She was handed a 12-month community order because, she kicked a police constable in the Cobblers. Yeah, she did. But there's more to this than that. They were called out to apprehend her, and they reckon this was school run time, 2:45 p.m. on June the 2nd of last year, in the Knowsley area of Merseyside, and they were called out at reports of a nude jogger running through the woods. Yeah, she was naked. She was Billy Bollocks dark as she was, and PC Kieran Moran and his WPC partner approached her. He tried to cover her with his jacket, to protect her modesty, and she struck out and kicked him in the groin, and she admitted it. But she was suffering from a medical episode. She's subsequently gone on to go for psychiatric treatment because she was suffering from a condition she didn't realise that she had. She'd never been in trouble before. Since then she's been to a psychiatrist and is now medicated. And she was awarded a 12-month community order, fined £50 and told to pay £95 victim surcharge. And issues coming out of the court. But I think she had what they call a psychiatric episode, which compelled her to run naked through the woods. It's alright, isn't it? I talked about this last night on the live stream. They're bringing back Fawlty Towers. Yes, that's going to go down well, isn't it? So that's the old Fawlty Towers. A classic comedy from the 70s. There was only 12 episodes of it, and John Cleese is writing it with his daughter Camilla, And yeah, the 83-year-old star is reprising Basil Fawlty. How is he going to do all the physical comedy? He's just going to be... He won't be able to move around. The physical side of that is just... Well, they'll have to have a stunt double. CGI. But yeah, it's going to be about him, Basil Fawlty dealing with the modern world. I wish they wouldn't. Meanwhile, they're saying this is a study from the University of Vienna. Boom, boom, boom. Have discovered that Tinder can make it harder for you to find love. So it's all about the stressing. When you phrase something, the meaning can change just by pausing, can't it? Yeah, if you're looking for love and you're swiping right a lot, you shouldn't do it, because you've got partner choice overload. And here's a picture of somebody using a dating app from Shutterstock. There you go, to give you an indication. So yeah, don't be a bit more selective. Don't be desperate, or join desperate dating. We talked about it yesterday. They're running all these because Valentine's Day is coming up. That's why. Here we go. This is Mary Queen of Scots. We're going back to the 16th century, and code breakers have been working. Here she is. This is what she looked like. Code breakers were looking at her letters, and there were 50 scripts that they had, made up of various glyphs and graphical symbols, and they've managed to decode them, apparently. Most of these were addressed to Michel de Castelnau, French ambassador to England, who was a supporter of Catholic Mary. And it's a pretty complex set of codes she was using there. Certain symbols meant to delete the previous symbol, and then very, very complicated. But again, she didn't want to find out who was she didn't want anyone to find out what she was writing. George Lasry, lead investigator, said the code is complex, but we cracked it gradually. We were able to read 30% or so of the text. We spotted French words in feminine form, so it must be a woman. Key themes including complaints about her poor health and condition in captivity, and negotiations with Queen Elizabeth I for her release, because we've got to remember she was being held captive at the time. That's why she wrote in code. And her distrust for the Queen's spymaster Sir Francis Walsingham, and her animosity towards Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester. So I've been cracking the code all those years ago. Meanwhile, do you like board games? Yeah, I do. Monopoly. We enjoy a good board game Saturday here in Lock Towers, but you wouldn't want to live next to Benjamin C. Because he was This goes back to the first lockdown, 16th of May 2020, in Lyon, in France. Yeah, a student invited a small group of friends over to chat and play cards. Right. Her social visit was interrupted by Benjamin C., the man who lived upstairs. And he pulled out a knife and stabbed her in the femoral artery, leaving her to bleed out on the floor. And she died 2 days later in hospital. And why? Well, this is up in court at the moment. in France, and it turns out that the man had been playing Scrabble, and the noise from downstairs had disturbed him. His defence says that because he had poor eyesight, this made his hearing more sensitive, and he's pleaded not guilty, but he didn't realise he'd wounded anyone due to his poor eyesight. Again, we've gone for the Mr. Magoo defence, and here are some Scrabble tiles just to so man stabs neighbour over Scrabble. That's the story. That's the story. Who remembers Duncan Bannatyne from Dragon's Den? Who remembers that? Well, it's his 74th birthday, and here he is on a yacht having a good time. Look at him getting down. Yeah, hey! They say it's all that money that keeps him young. I'm oot, as he used to say. I miss Duncan Bannatyne. Meanwhile, have you been following the story of Ron Jeremy? He appeared in movies, lots of movies of a certain colour, blue movies, but he went mainstream. This is Ron Jeremy. They call him the Hedgehog. That's his nickname. But he was accused of multiple crimes, and sorry, it sounds like my computer's taken off again. Multiple crimes against women, and it looked like he was going to be sent down for a very, very long time, because there were 30 counts of this done to 21 victims. Some were as young as 15, but in Los Angeles Superior Court, Judge Ronald S. Harris ruled that he wasn't competent to assist in his defence because he's suffering from dementia. And here's a picture of him now, looking quite worse for wear. And he's going to be held in a mental institution for up to 2 years. And they're going to monitor his condition and maybe bring him back if he, But yeah, he was one of the biggest names in the adult film industry. And they reckon his severe dementia is determined by a review of medical documents and interviews with him. But yes, there you go. So how the mighty have fallen. Will they drag him back? Will they be able to tell? Meanwhile, we've got Neighbours from Hell dispute. This is Keir Hamilton. This is in Balgowan, Perthshire. He said that the trees belonging to neighbour William Buchan was making his life a misery. They were 40 foot high, and that's quite big, aren't they? And he said that the trees cast such a big shadow that he couldn't grow anything. And you can see it there. There's quite a big. Is a better picture of the shadow. Can't grow anything. So he went to court over it. Yeah. And it's finally the appeal, because you've got to wait for the appeal. The appeal has been thrown out. William Buchan appealed, and he's going to have to cut down those trees. They have to be lopped. They have to be lopped down. Yeah, the government report of Fortune Gumbo. The government reporter, his name's Fortune Gumbo. Mr. and Mrs. Gumbo, what would you like to name your little boy? Fortune. Said, sorry, that name just caught me out. Fortune Gumbo. It should be in Forrest Gump, surely. said that, the council's requirement for the hedge owned to be responsible for reducing encroachment parts of the hedge, in addition to the other requirements the appellant doesn't seem to object to, is not excessive and is based on the Act. That's some big language. Basically, he's got to cut down the trees so that some sunlight can come in. I think that's the gist of it from Gumbo. Meanwhile, Peter Snipvangers has been using ChatGPT. It's an AI application, a bot, and he used it to write a 2,000-word piece on social policy, and the AI bot did it in 20 minutes. Yeah, he had asked his lecturer at a top Russell Group university to mark it and give their assessment, and they gave it a score of 53, which is a passing 2.2 mark. The professor said that the essay was a bit fishy, but closer to the work of a waffling lazy student than a piece of AI. He said you can't cheat your way to a first class degree, but you definitely cheat your way to a 2-2. And here is Peter with his bogus essay. So there you go. So everyone's a bit wary of ChatGPT, and yeah, you can actually read the essay there if you freeze frame it. AI is going to replace us all. Who knows? Maybe I'll be replaced too. Meanwhile, this is a compilation of bad drivers and who supplied the footage? Bedfordshire Police, and this is a driver eating soup at the wheel. Excuse me, soup. That can't be. Soup at the wheel? Really? That can't be right. And of course, yeah, here's a better angle there for you. And of course, the usual suspects using their mobile phones. Swiping right, I'd imagine. Yeah. But yeah, during the operation run in partnership with National Highways, 29 mobile phone offences in the course of a 5-day period were recorded. That's not too many, really, is it? I mean, that's coming down. See, there's a lorry driver looking at his phone. So, yeah, but just don't eat soup. Have a sandwich. You can't spill a sandwich. Meanwhile, Sir Tom Jones, he's going to do it. He's going to perform Delilah at his first major gig in Wales for 20 years. Yes, well, he's got to, hasn't he, really? Because, yeah, the 1968 song has been banned by the Welsh Rugby Union because the lyrics were inappropriate and offensive. They wanted him to sing the green, green grass of home instead, which is about being on death row. Did you notice a lot of songs are not appropriate anymore? It says the words depict a woman named Delilah being stabbed to death after her husband she discovered has been cheating. But he doesn't say that. He doesn't say he stabs her. He says, I felt the knife in my hand and she laughed no more. She's reacting to the knife in his hand. He's probably just waving it around. Doesn't say he doesn't. Does he? She's just reacting to the knife. Stops laughing. Got lyrics. Got to interpret the lyrics. What else have we got? World's youngest published author. This is Bella J. Dark from Weymouth in Dorset. She scooped the Guinness World Records because she's published her books. Look at that. I think they're bragging again. Bloody kids. Always bragging, aren't they? Yeah, but she's with her proud parents. Good for her. My only regret is why my kids so bloody useless. I could be making a fortune off of them right now. Could be making a fortune. Why can't they do this? Well, we self-published Verity's comic instead. We didn't brag about it though. We didn't brag about it. We didn't go to the press. We just self-published. Who wants to see a really dangerous bathroom? I mean, this is crazy. Sorry, everything's. Why is my computer so rubbish? Don't answer that. But yeah, look at this. Look at this and say that you're not going to break your neck getting out of the bath. No. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Yeah, 4 steps. Or is it? Because is it just an optical illusion? But can you imagine getting out of there and just, well, breaking your neck? Oh God, I've done too much. I've done too much. I've gone over. Oh, I'm going to end on an animal story, right? I'm going to end on an animal story, but don't worry. This is not the dog in question, but a professional dog walker has warned owners to be careful. She was walking a dog called Sid, who she described as a large breed, I guess to hide his to hide his hiding again, anonymity. I don't know why, but anyway, Sid the large breed was walking around South Norwood near the lake at the weekend, but he came shortly ill after he became ill, right? And the owners discovered that the reason he was ill because he'd ingested human excrement, right? Right, now the vet had said, well, what's happened here is he's eaten the human poop, but it was either somebody who was on meth, crystal meth, or maybe it was a dealer. I'm adding that because sometimes they keep the meth in their bottoms, don't they? And yeah, don't let your dog eat meth addict's poo because it can make your dog sick. There you go. You learn something every day here. Every day. So, yeah, don't let your dog eat poo. Just don't let him eat poo. 5 people in. God, nobody likes it today. Renee's in. Andrew's in. He says, hello, I've been watching your Fender guitar review. It's a lovely tone. It is good, isn't it? Dog cam. She's over there. She's asleep. Though she'll probably wake up. Oh, she's still asleep. Look, there she is. She's having a kip. So she's nice and relaxed. So that's good. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm out of here. I think I've done enough damage for today. That was the news. Yeah, killing the channel, one video at a time. You know, you gotta drink it up.